Lay 'em down. I got them nights that don't play around. Hit up the bishop to pray for this.
Hello, my name is Osiris, and today we're looking at Freedom, a 1992 roguelike where the player is an escaped Black American slave trying to reach the North and gain freedom. In doing research for the channel, I came across this game, and I'm gonna be honest, I hate it. I hate it mechanically, I hate the lore behind how and why it was made, and I hate what it represents. A gamified experience of the ancestors trying to escape fates worse than death. So how does this game get made? It starts with the Minnesota Educational Computing Consortium, or MECC for short. They famously developed another game called The Oregon Trail in 1985. The Oregon Trail was super successful. You play as colonial settlers manifesting destiny. Along the way, settlers could die in various ways, and it's all an educational experience. So MECC's first American history roguelike was a great success. They made a few more similar but lesser known titles, and then the company got inspired again, this time by a local activist who did Underground Railroad reenactments. The thing about this part of the story is, I truly don't think some of these people set out to be disrespectful to the ancestors. I looked up members of the development team because you can find their names in the main menu of the game. One man has a long record of working for Native American preservation projects, and another lady has social media posts in the last year discussing the harm of performative allyship. So their hearts may have been in the right place. But this is still an experience I hated. The character sprites are almost cartoonishly racist. The English your character speaks is broken and ignorant reading. And the roguelike aspect made the game hard as shit. It took me 18 soul-crushing runs to actually beat this thing, and I never smiled once. This experience was supposed to be educational, meaning it was definitely rolled out in the schools. The game itself says it's appropriate for grades 5 through 9, but I say bullshit. And I'm not the only one. Imagine being the one or two black kids in a class full of others playing this garbage. Now you're hearing corny ass jokes about how your trash can classmates are gonna get you to freedom. So Black American parents were pissed, and uproar erupted across school systems nationwide, with demands for the game to be pulled from curriculums. This went so far that the MECC was meeting with angry parents and the NAACP. It took the threat of a lawsuit before the MECC actually pulled all copies of the game and instructed schools with copies to destroy them. I believe in the importance of physical media and truly owning what you've bought, but fuck this game, dude. I'm a little salty that it wasn't fully destroyed and survived in the internet long enough for me to make this video. So why do I hate it so much? I'll briefly take you through the 18 runs and 2 hours it took me to finally win. I started strong in runs 1 and 2, but was captured both times, and the text of the game states you are whipped every time you're captured. That shit bothered me so much, I stopped reading that part of the text in subsequent runs. Now, after the patroller, aka slave capture, ended my second run, I noticed this message praising the fortitude and required intelligence needed to escape, and it almost broke my brain. Like, that shit felt so condescending. I load into run 3 kinda mad already, and I really look at the elders you talk to before runs. Red lips, big noses, bad hair, casually afraid. Then I died on this run too. I drowned. I start feeling like I harmed an ancestor, and I realized the game is messing with my head in a way that I hate. So run 4, I was recaptured. Run 5, I drowned in a shallow river, and at that point, I took a smoke break. Run 6, I tried fighting the slave patrol desperately and ended up captured again. Run 7, 8, and 9, I tried getting creative, hiding, forging passes, but was caught every time. By run 10, I would just do full sprints north after grabbing every item the caricatures of the elders would give. The cycle of run, orient, hide, run, get captured, repeated all the way to run 18 when something different happened. A lady brought me to a house. I healed, rested, ate, and she gave me directions. Her directions led me to another house where I once again ate, rested, and got more directions. This repeated until run 18 was finally successful. Thank you, Underground Railroad. I hate to say this, but by itself, the gameplay is interesting. I think if I weren't being told to play with the ancestors' lives, literally, it might even be fun. But I'm Black American. My family did our homework and found records and names of our people as far back as 1845 and 1843, the exact antebellum period of America this game presents. This is a terrible piece of escapism. Historically accurate, I guess. It kind of sanitizes some of the true horror of that time period even still. Does the MECC believe every captured slave was taken alive? Because that's how the game presents it. You're whipped and captured and resent back to your plantation and sold further south. You have the option to attempt to escape as a woman, but this game was never going to capture just how horrible a fate some of our female ancestors suffered through. You cannot attempt escape in-game as a child, although many did. Did the MECC think they were spared the horrors? In fact, this game doesn't show children at all, despite a key defining feature of American slavery being the enslavement of children, forced reproduction, and the splintering of families as a tool for control. Aside from the two variants of slave patrols, including one with dogs and one without, this game doesn't really have a main antagonist. It just has the hostile white members of the towns and villages who will call the slave patrol on you for no reason. I guess little has changed there. The region you load into determines the difficulty of each run. The lower you start, the harder it is to escape. RNG also determines whether you can read, write, or swim. The environment of the game itself feels hostile, and many of my runs ended by drowning because the character I rolled couldn't swim. Ha ha. But I just can't know if all of this comes from an ironic or an unironic place, and I really don't even know which is worse. So where does freedom land on the representation grading scale? The best thing I can say is it feels like it was made by historians, but I'd also confidently say that none of those historians were any type of black, because if they had been, I have to hope that the black person would tell them that this whole game is a stupid ass idea, which it was, because look at all of the backlash it received. This shit gets an F. So, okay, yeah, it's a historical game. Nobody plays Oregon Trail and calls that disrespect. But it's different, and I'm not even really gonna argue about it. When colonial white America decided to manifest destiny, irregardless of their financial or personal motivations, they were choosing the possibility of death by dysentery, animal attack, starvation, etc. The ancestors had all of their choices stripped away from them, and gamifying that experience is irresponsible at best. No, I'm not against media attempting to tackle American slavery, but let this shit be a great example of what never to do. This was easily one of the worst gaming experiences of my life, and that's just my personal opinion. Random side note, one of Tucker Carlson's top writers posted screenshots from this game on an anonymous board in 2020 and eventually got fired for that post as well as other weird posts. Think about that for a second. Weird, creepy, racist dudes on anonymous message boards passing a game around where they can play with simulated versions of our real ancestors. Shit's crazy. I really just can't explain how much I hate this game. But what do you guys think? Comment below, and thanks for watching.
Lay 'em down. I got them nights that don't play around. Hit up the bishop to pray for the sound. We playing chess, we taking the crown. Come to your castle, we breaking it down.